Hello everyone, welcome to my video. And in this video, I am going to share some of the questions that I remember from my PMP paper that I gave. And I'm just going to tell you some of the topics from that I got those questions. Uh, Obviously, I'm not going to tell you the exact questions because I don't remember exactly what are those questions, but I remember some of the topics um, which I got because since I've appeared twice, now I have a decent amount of idea that uh, what are the important topics in PMP examination and what are must-have topics that you need to prepare. Okay, so let's get started. Uh, yes. So now talking about some of the topics that I got is PMP does not ask you what, I mean, specifically for ITTOs or specifically for, uh, process groups, because it's not going to tell you that this is the process group and what would be the next. Uh, let's say if they're not going to tell you that, if we talk about, let's say, a predictive life cycle, or if we talk about agile life cycle, then what is the next step in that? What they are going to do is they'll give you a subtle hint in the question that I mean what is the reference of that question and how PMP frames, and you need to judge on the basis of question that from which topic especially that question is coming from. Okay, now talking about the question that came is um, so you need to remember that there are two type of risk, especially talking about there are other subparts, but there are positive as well as negative risk. And you need to also make sure what are the responses of each risk. Okay. I have written down every topic that came in my examination. I'm just going to tell you the topic, but I won't be able to tell you the exact question because I don't remember exactly. But yes. Now, I got a question for types of contract. Which contract should you choose? I was given, a time and time and money contract, but in that particular contract, question was something like, in this particular contract, what are the extra things that you can do? Okay. Now, I also got a question from PERT formula. You can also check that out. I got a question. I got a graph question from burn down chart, where it says this particular, you can say pointers have been completed, and you need to calculate or you need to judge based on the options given. Another question that I got is based on BAC and EAC. Okay. And I didn't get any question for network diagram. Most of the question, I would say my paper was more than 75% agile. So I request everyone that you should focus on agile more. Um, because most of the paper will come from agile, and I'm stating it again and again. Please watch 200 questions by David McLean. Many questions are somewhat similar to that. And I'm in my preliminary video where how do you prepare for PMP paper. I've also given one YouTuber, Josin's link. His 180 question is really good when it comes to understanding of how you create a mindset on solving PMP questions. Another question I got is, what if customer does not accept the deliverables? Okay, and what are the necessary steps that you can do? Okay. uh, Next one I got is difference. So it doesn't ask you the actual difference. It asked you that whether is this fast tracking or is this crashing. Okay, so you need to be very sure about fast tracking and crashing. Now, BAC and EAC, I got the question where CPI was given, and you need to judge whether BAC was given or EAC was given. Okay. Another thing that I got is yes, the range. The team was co-located, and one member was skipping the daily stand-ups. So what? How should the PM react, and what should he do? Another question. I haven't got any question from Maslow theory, but in my paper one, I got a question from theory Z. Delphi technique is something that I've asked, PMP asked me in my first paper, but in second, I didn't receive any Delphi technique question. Okay. Talking about the risk, internal and external factors of risk, I got a question for SWOT analysis. Especially, it was not given SWOT analysis, but you can infer from the question itself that it is of SWOT analysis. Okay. Next one I got is for PMO, authorization of project. And yes, there's a very good question that I got from that PMO authorization. So as we know, there are certain steps where project. So let's talk about agile. In agile, we do not have any, I would say, project charter which gets, approved by, you can say, sponsor, because in agile, project charter keeps on changing because you're based on the user response, those are the user feedback, you keeps on changing your deliverables. So that is why anything is not fixed in agile. But in the question, it was given that you got a authorization on your project charter. Then the question was based on, sprint was given and everything else regarding agile was given. Then you need to judge, this is a hybrid, type of event. There you need to be very judicious whenever solving, and this is completely my opinion, but whenever you are solving a hybrid question, think like a agile. Most of the times that I have seen that if you think like a agile, you will be able to solve that question very efficiently. Okay. Now, moving on to the next question that I got is insurance. Comes under which type of transferring risk? Everybody knows that. Now, stakeholder engagement is something. So you need to create a chart of how do you manage stakeholder, because that is something which is very common. So I got a question of a stakeholder who has high power, but in the question it is not mentioned stakeholder has high power, but you need to infer, you need to derive from the question itself that it says stakeholder has high power in the project, but it does not have that much interest. So high power, low interest. How do you manage that kind of stakeholder? Okay. Yes. Another question that I got is contingency reserve. Contingency reserve and also management reserve. There was a question based on both. Both of the things were given, and you need to determine that whether you should, from which reserve that budget will be used, whether is it from management reserve or whether it is from contingency reserve. Okay. Always remember that contingency reserve is always for the risk that are registered at the time of risk planning. Unexpected risk are something which are not for contingency reserve, because as the name suggests, it is a contingency budget that you have thought of, that what if a particular member goes on a leave, what if vendor delays. These are the things that you have already thought of. But talking about any unknown event, talking about any unknown issues, there you need to be very judicious whether you will be choosing contingency or management reserve, or you will be going to your sponsor, because for budget, if there's no option, you need to get your approval from the sponsor itself, how you would be planning that. Okay. Yeah. let's move ahead. Yes, I was talking about time and material, and the question was, the contract was not given time and material. The question was there was unclear scope. Okay, and whenever their scope is not clear or there's no scope at all, at that moment we choose time and material contract. Okay, so you need to keep that in mind that whenever you do not have any fixed scope, you use time and material. In agile especially, that happens. And time and material is what something, uh, whatever amount of task is done based on a timeline. If task is done, payment is done according to that. Okay. Now, question came from, planning cost management. And in planning cost management, you're determining the budget. Okay, so it's still in the planning phase. But a question was framed in the way. So, before all of this, I will give you one, trick. Whenever you're solving any question, mark, or if you can, if you have time, while you are practicing, highlight the portions. Those are very necessary. Most of us are not very good in English. Most of us do not have very good command in English, because PMP language is somewhat difficult, or study hall language is somewhat difficult from our day-to-day language. So what you can do is you can highlight those important parts and check out the rest, then read out the question again. And now you know this is what is happening. And based on that, you can answer the question and you can keep on practicing this habit. Then you will be able to save your time also. And you can also focus on the things which are very important. Okay. I got 5 questions from quality. That is also very important. So project quality management, resource management, I got question from there. Yes, I got a question from, cost plus incentive fee contract also. One question from Scrum and Kanban, difference between that, because there's always confusion between Scrum and Kanban. I got one question for fishbone analysis. I didn't get any question from extreme programming or any other, but in my first paper, I got question for, a risk burn down chart. So anything about the chart was not given, but it was mentioned that there's a risk burn down chart, and you need to understand if there's a burn down chart, what is happening in actual burn down chart. If we talk about risk burn down chart, what are the things that should be mentioned in the risk burn down chart? It's very easy. You can, if you understand burn down chart, you'll be able to understand risk burn down chart. Okay. Now, moving next to, talking about Kaizen. I haven't got any question on Kaizen. No. Okay. Yes. Okay. This is also very important. So I got a question from DISC behavior model in my paper 1. DISC is dominance, influence, steadiness, and consciousness. I've written down this question because this was very difficult. And this was under people section. Dominance, something where things get done. Influence is something that builds energy. Steadiness is team player, and consciousness focuses on the quality. So this was the question which is given. And if I keep remembering the topics, whenever I remember some of the questions, I write down and I keep on updating. This video. This is the part 1. I'll keep on updating more on this, and I'll be mentioning all the topics that I have mentioned in this video in the description itself. Also, whenever I'm speaking, if you are not able to understand anything, I'll also try to include pointers in my video itself, so that you can get the caption and you will be able to understand that what I am speaking. Okay. If you are watching this video till now, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. Subscribe and share. And if you need any help, please do reach out to me, comment on this video, and I'll definitely help you out. Thank you. Thank you so much.